Tell me about if Donald Trump does not win, what do you do?
I hope that I'm going to die.
You want to die if Donald Trump doesn't
I
win.
do. I don't want to live like this anymore. You like our country the way it is now?
I mean, it doesn't really matter what I think, but you've got a pretty good life. You got nice clothes on, you got hat on, sunglasses, you got your health. I mean, the country's done pretty well by you, right?
No, the country hasn't done anything by me.
If Trump doesn't win, I hope I'm going to die.
I've done everything for myself. My husband and I took care of ourselves as we grew older. Now, when we got ready to retire, we had planned what we were going to do. Now, what is the country doing for me now? Do I get any interest on anything that I put away and saved?
Well, your money is safe, right?
I wouldn't say that.
You got access to health care.
I have access to health care because my husband served 20 years in the military.
So the military did something for your family. The military is trustworthy, right? I mean, the military healthcare system's great.
No, I wouldn't say it's great. We were promised free health care for our whole life, but that did not happen.
What is it that is so bad about where America is or where you are right now with America that you would want to die if Donald Trump doesn't win?
I just don't want to live in a country that is as screwed up as this one, that people are so out of control and that they think that everything that they're entitled to everything.
Yes, your ears are not deceiving you. That is what that woman said to David Shuster in the interview about the next presidential election, which is almost about a year away. But we've been talking about this presidential election since 2020 ad nauseum. But here we are, about a year away from 2024. And this particular MAGA supporter says she wants to die, that life is not even worth living. Now, some of the points that she recognizes or puts forward in the interview with David makes a lot of sense. I mean, she's not feeling, her and her husband were promised lifetime health care because he's in the military, and she's feeling like systems are not working. And if you didn't know you were talking to a MAGA supporter, you can go into any hood across this country, rural, suburban, or urban, and probably hear some of the same variables. But this is not where she stopped.
What do you think about the stealing that's going on right now?
What do you mean stealing?
People walk into stores and just can walk out with stuff.
Well, crime is a problem, but there's also a lot of places where people have to.
Crime is increasing every day.
Actually, the data shows it's not.
Well, I don't care what the data shows. You and I can't talk to each other because you have a totally different idea of what's going on than what I have.
So what do you trust?
I trust Donald Trump. I trust Donald Trump, and what really upsets me the most is everybody remembers that one little blip that Billy Bush put out there when he first started to run.
About grabbing the.
Yeah, that's the.
I mean, that was pretty memorable.
Well, why is that memorable? Why isn't it memorable the things that he did do?
Well, he's been indicted in 4 different cases and 91 criminal charges.
None of that stuff is true. You know it's not.
I don't know whether it's true or not. I just know that. No, I just know that a
non-Trumper?
No, I'm just a journalist who sees that he's been in. I mean, so how do you explain all these charges? How do you explain all? What's going on?
They're all made up.
They're all made up.
Yep, they're all made up.
So the election interference in Georgia, Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesebro, who worked for Donald Trump as lawyers, they just pled guilty and admitted.
I don't believe that either.
You don't believe they pled guilty?
Nope.
So when they said that they were.
I never turn on the news. I never turn on the TV. I never listen to any of that.
So where do you get your information if you don't watch the news?
I get my information from Telegram.
From Telegram. Are there any liberal or progressive voices on Telegram?
I don't have any idea.
There are not. Is it important to hear from people who have a different point of view than you?
I'd like to sit down with a liberal someday and have them tell me what it is that they think is so great about what's going on right now. But they won't talk to you about it.
What particular issue would you like to talk about?
I don't know. What do you think is so great about what's going on right now?
I think what's so great is that people who are in the United States now have more opportunities than anywhere else around the world.
When's the last time you paid for a loaf of bread?
I just went to the store the other day, and I was glad to see that inflation is down.
Oh, no. We can't talk anymore.
Unemployment is down. My 401k is doing great. Your 401k is doing great. The markets are awesome.
No. I can't even see. That's why I can't talk to a liberal.
Well, if we can't talk to each other, what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to do anything because I'm leaving.
So this Trump supporter goes on to list a litany of concerns that she has. And Schuster pushed back on some of those that were not backed up by data. For example, she said that crime is up. He told her no, statistically, crime is not up, she insisted. He said to her that Donald J. Trump, the former president, has been indicted. He has several indictments, and he certainly has been impeached twice. Old enough to remember that. She was like, all of that stuff is made up. And then she went as far as to say, this country made such a big deal over that videotape where the former president said that he could just grab a whole bunch of you know what, and that women wouldn't resist. This Trump supporter said, made too much of that. Why you liberals keep talking about that? Because grabbing somebody is against the law. That might be why we keep talking about that. Just grabbing somebody that doesn't want to be grabbed. It's not cool. But that meant nothing to this Trump supporter because she really does want to die. She made it very clear. She don't want to live like this anymore if Donald J. Trump does not win the 2024 election. And although it may be easy to make fun of this lady in some cases, there are some deep-seated problems and challenges, namely that people just don't believe in institutions anymore. And that, sisters and brothers and family and friends, falls on the shoulders of many people who are elected and people who are in control. And it's not just a one-party proposition. It is a concern that we must have about the entire country and those people who are in power and how that power is used. I was trying to find the silver lining to this entire exchange, and I really did think we had one, which is when she said, I would like to sit down and talk to a liberal and find out what they think is so great about this country. But that quickly dissipated as her and Schuster continued to engage, so much so she got so frustrated that she said, "This is why we can't have conversations. Liberal can't have a conversation with a liberal." And David asked, "Well, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna solve this?" She said, "We're not gonna solve anything because I'm walking away." And that is the crux of what is happening in this country far too many times. You have people from different ideologies who just simply throw up their hands and say, you know what? We're not going to solve the conundrums of our time. We're just simply going to walk away. And that ultimately does not work in a republic, in a representative democracy. We cannot just simply throw up our hands and say, we're going to walk away. We have to try to solve these problems and solve them together. And there are, despite an economy that on paper seems to be going well, it is, I got to give it to this woman. A lot of people that I talk to, they don't believe that it's going well because their quality of life is diminishing. It is not where it should be. And we should want to solve the economic, political, and social ills of our time so that we don't always have to agree, but we should be able to come together to do great and wonderful things. So I don't know about you. I'm going to try to keep hope springing eternal. But she did. She walked away.